I'm launch consultant Jackie Hayes, and welcome to Launch Lessons, a special mini-series of the Here's What I Learned podcast. Each week for the next 5 weeks, I'm sharing the most impactful launch lessons of some of my favorite online business owners. If you're in the middle of a launch or have one coming soon, listen in and learn from these incredible entrepreneurs. Today's guest, Brittany Herzberg, is sharing the 3 most important lessons she learned during a summer 2022 launch of her case study program. Let's hear what Brittany has to say.
Hello there, my name is Brittany Herzberg, and I am an SEO and case study copywriter. I really am so excited to be able to share this with you. 3 of my launch lessons that I learned from my launch in December 2022 of my case study training program. So that was really just like so fun for me. It was completely unplanned. I had been wanting to launch some kind of program for years, and I just didn't have the right product. And so I waited. And finally, one of my copywriting friends came to me one day and she was like, "Hey, have you ever thought about showing other copywriters and business owners how they can create these case studies that you do?" And I was like, "No, but I really want to have a product and I love this idea. So let's just run with it." I outlined, I did all the things beforehand for 2 weeks. So I came up with this thing to launch and had the sales page, had a rough idea of how I wanted to launch it, what I wanted to say. And I had a pretty successful launch, I would say. For a first round out, I had 6 people sign up and it was magical. And I've gotten great feedback that I'm going to take and use to update the program for the next round. But these are the 3, that was some background. These are the 3 lessons that I had from that launch that I wanted to share with you. So the first one was that I was pleasantly surprised. Like, honestly, my socks were knocked off by me asking for support and just the response that I had back. So I had something like 40 business owners, a mixture of peers, mentors, and friends that I asked it for help to promote my launch. Like I said, from my friend Jess asking me about this program to me actually announcing it to the world, there were 2 weeks. So I had gone through, I had asked these peers and mentors and friends if they thought that it was a good idea. I felt like I needed some kind of validation that I was barking up the right tree. And everybody, it was just a resounding yes. So when it came time to launch it, I wrote back to these same people and I was like, so these same people plus some. I didn't ask 40 people off the bat, but I went back to them and then some other people, and I was asking them like, "Hey, is there any chance?" Like, I did not have an affiliate program set up. I didn't have anything fancy. It was purely, "Would you be willing to share this for me?" And 35 people said yes. And that was huge. And it was some combo of they would either reshare something that I had put on Instagram, they would share it to their stories. They were talking to specific friends or business owners that they knew who could use this offer. Some people put it as like a PS in their email. Some people sent out an actual email, which I gave them copy for. I wasn't just like, "Hey, mention this," and then didn't give them anything. So it honestly just like touched my heart in a big way. And I teared up several times throughout the launch because I was like, "What? This is just absolutely incredible that I have this kind of support." And that's been a big lesson for me, is just asking for support, period. So to have this many people be so helpful just out of the kindness of their hearts and their belief in me and what I was creating was really magical. And I did the math, and about 90% of the students that signed up actually came from these referrals. So it was huge. And next time I do it, I would like to have an actual like affiliate situation for them. The second lesson that I learned was that I really enjoyed having a rough plan for what to share each day when it came to social media. So social media was really fluid for me, and that actually ties into the third lesson as well. But social media was very fluid. I had like a page, a calendar. I have a paper planner, so I had it written out where it was like, okay, these days I want to share these things, but I didn't have something pre-filmed. I didn't have copy pre-written. It was much more in the moment, and I really enjoyed that. For my emails, they were written and scheduled with a few exceptions. I did leave some open space just to be able to respond to actual questions that were coming in. And I felt like that worked beautifully for me. So having a rough plan with a rough idea, but not necessarily having 100% of stuff scheduled, filmed, ready to go. And then the third lesson was I learned that if it didn't feel good, I wasn't going to do it. If I wasn't feeling good, if something that I thought I might want to share didn't feel like the right thing, I just listened to that instinct and I didn't do it. Because people can pick up on energy. People can pick up on like your vibe when you're showing up and you're saying things or sharing things. So if I didn't feel like I was in a good place, or if I didn't feel like it was the right message at the right time based on the questions that I was being asked, I skipped it or I went with something else. And there were days, I will say, that I didn't post anything related to the launch specifically. I might have put up like a story slide where it was saying something like, just reminding them that the launch was happening. But it wasn't like hardcore all day, every day, which I think also helped my energy levels throughout the launch. And then I made a note because I wanted to mention that something I would have loved for last time that I will have this coming time to add into the launch materials was a case study for myself. And that is very meta. And I have seen these case studies work wonders for my clients. So I've seen they're a repurposable marketing piece. You can have it as the basis for an email. You could have it as an email. You could include it in social posts. You can include it as a reel. Like there are so many things that you can do with these case studies to make it easier for you while you're launching. Like you have this thing that's built in. And let's say you have a day where my energy was low, or I just wasn't feeling that great, or didn't feel like talking about this stuff. I would have been able to, and I will be able to this coming time, to actually talk about a case study, to talk about like so-and-so went through the program and here's where they're at now and here's what they learned, and break it all down for them. So I'm really excited about that. And I just want to thank you for taking the time to listen. I'm totally available on Instagram and my website, and I will include the links for those if you have any follow-up questions for me. So I'll talk to you soon.
If it doesn't feel good, you don't have to do it. I am in 100% agreement with Brittany on that one. Having a launch that feels fun is all about learning how to launch your way. That's why I created my Launch Your Way course. In these 6 modules, you'll learn how to leverage your strengths, skills, personality, experience, and values to create a custom launch process that embraces your uniqueness. Launch Your Way will be available to purchase on August 28th, so be sure to get on my email list at jackiehayes.online so you don't miss its release. Thanks for listening to this podcast miniseries. You can find the show notes and transcripts at jackiehayes.online. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe and leave a review. Until next week, go launch like a superhero.